Hi everyone, welcome to day 11 and the first day of the nourish phase. Today we're going to start out by talking about secondary food, which is another word for nutrition. So this is the food that we actually put on our plate. So the first thing I want to talk about is the perfect diet. Is there one? Well, I think no. Because we are also incredibly unique and very different from one another, I believe in this concept called bioindividuality, which essentially means that one person's medicine or food is another person's poison. So something that might be good for me might not be good for you, and something that I don't have an issue with digesting, you might have an issue with. So it's always important to listen to your body. It's also important to know that nutrition is a science and it's not a very exact one. So there are studies that say one thing is good for you, but there's the same amount of studies equally as credible saying that that same exact thing is bad for you. So you kind of have to listen to what your body is saying rather than the science. And this is coming from a scientist. So listen to your body to know which foods make you thrive. So how do you find your perfect diet? Well, the first thing you need to do is unlearn everything that you've ever learned when it comes to nutrition and start tuning into your body. Experiment with different foods and be flexible, because sometimes over time our tastes will change and our ability to digest things will change. Our ability to produce certain enzymes will change. And so getting stuck in a one size fits all, and this is my perfect diet forever philosophy is not going to work very well for you. So the other thing you want to do to find your perfect diet is to think of food as medicine rather than poison, and think of it as a way to heal you rather than a way to just feed you to keep you alive. There are 5 basic categories of nutrients: fats, proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins and minerals, and water. When it comes to fats, proteins, and carbohydrates and water, those are considered macronutrients because our bodies need those in large amounts compared to micronutrients, which are vitamins and minerals. And we will talk about each one of these things separately, but I just wanted to introduce them to you now. This is what the body needs. The body needs these 5 basic categories and nothing else. So if you're eating foods that have an ingredient in it that doesn't fall underneath any one of these 5 categories, it's most likely a man-made chemical that's been put into some food that doesn't serve any function and doesn't provide any nutrition to the body. Therefore, it's probably best to not ingest it. One thing that I like to point out about calories is I do not believe in counting calories unless it's for a very specific fat loss goal. And that's usually for someone like a figure competitor or a bodybuilder, those kinds of things. Then calories matter. But for the most part, for somebody who's just looking to be healthy, maybe lose a few pounds, quality should always be considered over quantity. And if you're eating the right things, you shouldn't have to keep track of how many carbohydrates and how many grams of fat and how many grams of protein you're eating. So quantity does matter for fat loss, for muscle gain, and for weight gain, but it's always secondary to quality. So even if you are trying to lose some body fat and you're keeping track of the calories that you're ingesting, you still want to make sure that those calories are high quality calories and within those 5 categories of nutrients that we talked about on the previous slide. One philosophy that I like to use with my clients is this philosophy called crowding out. So essentially, this idea of crowding out means the more good you have, the less bad you have. So eat more of the good and push out the bad. And the higher quality you have, the less you'll have to keep track of quantity too. So therefore, your body kind of naturally settles in on portion sizes. So you don't have to give yourself or restrict yourself to a certain portion. Your body will tell you when you're full, as long as you're eating the good stuff. And the more good habits you have, the less room you have for bad habits. So this goes for things that go beyond nutrition as well. So you can crowd out the bad with good. So your homework for the next 4 days, I'd like you to keep track of what you eat and also keep track of what your mood is, what your energy level is, and any other symptoms. Maybe symptoms of inflammation or digestive discomfort, or maybe you're extremely tired, or there's a certain time of day that you get this way. Keep track of all that because that's really important, and that helps you determine what your perfect diet is, and then we can kind of tweak it to make it fit what's best for you rather than what someone else in some magazine or some blog is saying. So that's your homework, and that's all I have for today. Thanks.